We continue now with a reaction to tonight's exclusive information about the firing of Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe. Joining us now to analyze from San Francisco is Harmeet Dillon, an attorney and a member of California's Republican National Committee. From Palm Springs, California, lucky guy, Bobby Chacon is a retired FBI special agent. And here in Washington, Julian Epstein, who is the former chief Democratic counsel to the House Judiciary Committee and an old friend. Julian, let's start with you. You watched this exchange with the congressman. They are absolutely adamant that a U.S. attorney cannot investigate a set of facts that does involve the man who they would be reporting to, namely Rod Rosenstein.
I think it's a thin read on a special counsel. Let me just talk about the politics here about this for a second. 20 years ago, you and I remember debating a lot about the Ken Starr investigation.
Wasn't that fun?
Bill Clinton, yeah. And look, I was part of an effort to discredit the special counsel then because I think he had really overstepped his boundaries and made a lot of mistakes. And we won that debate. 80% of the public actually agreed with us at the end of the investigation and thought Starr had done a bad job.
Started with Whitewater, ended with a blue dress.
Absolutely.
Right.
But they thought Starr had mismanaged that and overplayed his hand and done improper things. This is about the fourth attempt to discredit this investigation. There was a Nunes trip to the White House. There were the attempts to discredit Steele. None of them have worked. And I don't think any of this will work either. 60 or 70% of the public still believe that the investigation should continue. As to the particulars of this issue, I think this is a bit of a tempest in a teapot. I agree with Jeffrey Toobin. What we're talking about here is how McCabe described his conversations with his employees who then spoke to the Wall Street Journal and whether he was accurate in his He was perfectly authorized. He was perfectly legitimate for him to have his aides speak to the Wall.
So you think the Office of Professional Responsibility, which is staffed with career professionals, that they have a political vendetta against Andrew McCabe? He didn't really lie under oath?
I don't think we have that investigation. The extraordinary thing here...
Well, they did an investigation with the Inspector General.
And we haven't seen it. And the Inspector General's report, the Inspector General report hasn't been issued. The issue here was...
It's extraordinary for them to issue a report those findings were staggering for them to urge and indicate a firing of McCabe. It would never happen unless it was clear-cut. No way. You know,
and I know that there was an enormous amount of pressure from the president to the Attorney General.
The Office of Professional Responsibility isn't getting pressure.
The Attorney General was getting an enormous amount of pressure to fire McCabe, and the reason that McCabe was fired,
he was already retiring.
The reason McCabe was fired was because he agreed with Comey on the obstruction of justice, that Trump was trying to get him to stand down on the investigation.
He didn't have
and that was an obstruction of justice.
McCabe didn't have any unclean hands in any of this or appearance of a conflict
of interest. But that's why he was fired.
But let's go to Harmeet on this. Harmeet, you heard what Julian just said. I mean, this tempest in a teapot, nothing here. Your reaction?
Well, Laura, there's a lot there, and what the congressman said earlier in your show doesn't surprise me at all. The fact that there are 4 separate lies gives us more credence to the fact that this was a non-political firing and it was an extraordinary circumstance. So, Andrew McCabe has been under investigation and scrutiny since October of 2016. Some of the things that your viewers may not remember is that starting only 3 days after the inauguration, a call from Andrew McCabe's office is the one that set General Flynn up for the ultimate perjury charge that he has pled to. And then on top of that, there was the incident where he went into Reince Priebus's office and then said, hey, everybody at the FBI thinks this Russia investigation story in the New York Times is BS. And then a couple of days later, we see a CNN leak slamming the White House for that. So his finger is in this pie in many regards. The fact that he lied to Comey, as Congressman Jordan and Meadows just said, is indicative of the fact that there is corruption and there is shocking behavior at the top of the FBI that stems from their hubris and power.
How do you know he lied to Comey?
That's what the investigation just said. That's what the investigation just said. That's a
lie. The congressman who actually read the congressman just read the report.
But none of us have seen the report.
Okay, so the congressman
I don't think those members of Congress are misrepresenting here, so I take them at face value.
The Office of Professional Responsibility. These are not political appointees, Julian. They are career professionals. Bobby, I want to get you in on this. Jeff Sessions said this when he decided not to appoint a special counsel, in part in his letter. In high-profile circumstances involving other politically sensitive matters, it's been more common to make special arrangements within the department to ensure that actual or apparent conflicts can be avoided, while experienced and accountable prosecutors conduct an efficient and appropriate investigation. I mean, I can actually see that argument in his part, but the congressmen are like, no way, the U.S. attorney cannot do a fair investigation.
I'm not a big fan of having a second special prosecutor. I think it's more a form of a function. I think that the FBI agents that they're going to staff that investigation are going to be the same no matter what. The same people that are working for Bob Mueller, they're FBI agents. Whether or not they're working for a prosecutor who's called a special counsel or somebody inside the Justice Department, they're going to go ahead. They're going to do their job. Now, hopefully, that we have the element that was there before cleaned out. I don't really see the need. I think the men and women of the FBI are going to be able to investigate that case and bring their evidence to the Justice Department, as long as the Justice Department handles it in the way that we see Mueller handling it now, rather than the way Comey handled it, by not impaneling a grand jury and things like that. So I think that I don't really necessarily see the dire need for a special counsel. But if they have one, fine. If they don't, I think the investigation is going to go forward by very competent people who are going to get to the bottom of it.
Here's my problem with special counsels is that they never end. It just goes on and on and on with seemingly a limitless budget, very little oversight. I know they technically have oversight, but very little. And they, Jillian and I, you're right, we were arguing about this years ago. They go into, it starts off with, well, there's not really a crime, but maybe there's something with Russia, collusion, then collusion goes out the window. Now it's a business deal here, or Stormy Daniels, and it's a bizarre deal.
Can I just say why I think Jeff Toobin and others, and Sessions presumably thinks this was a wacko theory? It is because this doesn't even involve the Russia investigation. This involves McCabe's alleged discussions about the Clinton email investigation, which is closed and over. And
maybe it shouldn't be closed and over. That's the point.
Well, let's get some perspective here. I mean,
closed and over is the whole point, Julian.
Yeah, well, we can debate that if you want. I don't think there was ever a case there. But the point here is that this is an issue about whether he characterized accurately his staff's discussions with a newspaper. Let's get some more perspective. 4 of the people that are running the Russia investigation, Sessions, Rosenstein, Comey previously, Wray, at the head of the FBI, Mueller, are all Republicans. Okay, we're talking 19 people.
The Republicans
are running this investigation.
Most of the Republicans were against Trump, okay? Not Sessions.
They're running this
investigation. Most of them were against Trump.
19 indictments.
They hated Trump.
19 indictments, including 4 people that were close to Trump.
They were all ridiculing Trump, Julian, you know that.
Look, the Russia investigation is getting worse for the president.
Yeah.
The question on collusion is getting worse for him. The question on obstruction of justice is getting worse.
That's a distraction.
All right, we're out of time, but it would be lovely if the Democrats for one day debated something like the economy or trade, which they agree with Trump on a lot of the trade stuff.
I don't.
But that's why you guys lose the Rust Belt.
Let's come on and debate the economy anytime you want.
It is interesting that when all of this information comes out, redacted information, material information kept from investigators, if there's no there, then don't redact the information. Let's find out what Dennis McDonough knew. Let's find out if Susan Rice knew, or the president, what that email Susan Rice wrote on January 20th to herself about how everything was above board. Don't redact stuff that doesn't need to be redacted, and nobody will have a problem with it.
You and I agree on something.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Both parties are guilty of not talking about the economy and the disappearing middle class.
Yeah.
Both parties are guilty of that.
Well, that's why Trump won, because he's speaking for the forgotten man and woman. Guys, great segment. Why? Oh, this is a bizarre story up next. Julian, this is a weird story. Why are so many of these women obsessed and infatuated with serial killers, even when they're behind bars? You won't believe what's being sent to Nicholas Cruz in prison. The Parkland mass shooter, and those details moments away.
It's time for the Sleep Number Spring Clearance event. The dual adjustability of the Sleep Number bed allows each of you to adjust to your ideal level of firmness, comfort, and support. Your Sleep Number setting for your best sleep ever. In the morning, you'll discover the amazing effects the bed is having on your sleep quality, your sleep IQ score. And snoring? Does your bed do that? Only at a Sleep Number store, where queen mattresses start at just $8.99. And it's the last chance for clearance savings up to $800 on our most popular beds. And Saturday. Visit sleepnumber.com for a store near you.
What is he like, this Picasso?
He's imaginative, deranged, a true revolutionary.
Passionate.
He's a complete degenerate.
He'll spit in the face of authority.
He has set the art world on fire. Art has been my weapon. but I have to fight with my whole being.
For the ultimate protection for your vehicle's floor, you need WeatherTech floor liners. Get complete coverage of your floor, including the front, middle, back, and even up the sides. And our cargo liners are also laser measured for a perfect fit. Nothing protects like WeatherTech. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com. WeatherTech, complete protection, completely American made.
I want to get a bar put in over there. Do you know any good contractors?
Yeah, I might.
Nice! Give me a bunch of quotes, check the reviews, and do a background check on each of them.
You can't expect your neighbors to do everything HomeAdvisor can, so just ask HomeAdvisor.
You take care of business. Let Office Depot Office Max take care of you. And this week only, all PCs are on sale. Save $250 off this HP laptop. Plus, protect your investment with an accidental protection plan. Office Depot Office Max at OfficeDepot.com.
Beaches, Turks, and Caicos was created with everyone in mind. That's why everyone thinks it was created just for them. And it was. Generation Everyone.
Yeah, we're all about a good time. Yeah, we're all about a good life. You won't believe it.
Believe it. That's why we've been voted world's best 19 years in a row. Beaches, Turks, and Caicos, the #1 all-inclusive family resort. Call 1-800-BEACHES.
Time is running out. African penguin colonies have emptied in the last 5 years as their breeding populations have gone from 2 million pairs to less than 25,000. Together, we can turn things around. Your support to the San Diego Zoo Global Wildlife Conservancy helps support solutions by providing artificial nest boxes, hand-raising chicks for release, and rehabilitating injured penguins. So together, we can repopulate the colonies of our tuxedo-wearing friends.
Okay, there's a bizarre new development to the Stoneman Douglas High School massacre. Crazed women are flooding Nicholas Cruz, the alleged shooter, with everything from fan mail to donations to sexual pictures. And sadly, there is historic precedent for this behavior with other mass killers like Charles Manson, Ted Bundy. Joining us now with more is Ron Martinelli, a forensic criminologist, along